Right-wing activist Charlie Kirk was fatally shot this week in what's being called a political assassination. Kirk was speaking at a rally at Utah Valley University when one shot was fired, hitting him in the neck. Kirk was a 31-year-old conservative activist and a well-known supporter of President Donald Trump. In the aftermath, many took to social media to express their condolences, while others chose to celebrate the attack or promote toxic rhetoric, including calls for a civil war and the need for retribution. So here with a look at the state of social media in situations like these, Keith Corso, who oversees the social media program at Westminster College. Keith, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So why do you think so many people turn to hateful responses and rhetoric on social media after tragic events like this?
We don't have an hour for this, so I'll try to make it as concise as I can. There's a lot of things that come with social media, and part of that is that the things that you kind of kept in your head for years or just uttered to a person close to you, you now have a platform to do that. And there's also a degree of anonymity, I guess you could say. You're not looking a person in the face, you're not in the same room. And so people get emboldened by the idea that they can just say whatever they want and say the first thing that comes to mind. And in many cases, it's just terrible things like we've seen in the instance of Charlie Kirk.
Has it become concerning that this is the response that a lot of people immediately turn to when it comes to social media these days?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes I'm not quite sure whether we're seeing individuals who post these things who don't have any bit of restraint. They don't have any moral compass. I'm not sure whether we're seeing people who are doing it just for like the sake of theater because it gets them likes and clicks and follows in some circles. I'm not exactly sure why they do it, but they don't seem to be able to have any sort of restraint. And the whole situation might just go deeper to something to do with just not being quite right.
You know, like I've mentioned, we've seen a lot of people supporting and, of course, also saying that they're saying their criticism of Charlie Kirk. Now, this kind of mixed response has been seen for a number of tragic events over the years. Do you think this will eventually cause more people to turn away from social media?
Well, it very well could. I mean, I've taken a break from social media. It's hard for me to do being a person who teaches social media, but I've taken a break and pulled back a lot on some of the things that I've been exposing myself to. I'm really kind of only on Instagram now for a period of time. But I think parents need to understand that they need to reconsider a lot of different things. For example, their kids shouldn't be on social media into their teens, significant teen years. And there's quite a few adults who probably would do better if they would just get off because they just don't know how to filter themselves and just say terrible things like they said about Charlie Kirk.
And you know, at the same time, certain countries use events like these to hop on social media and begin spreading disinformation and kind of rile up pockets of the country. How important is it for people to be cautious of what they see and read every day on these websites?
Well, that's an ongoing thing. I mean, the habit is that when you see something on social media, you see a headline and you think that because you've read the headline and then you scroll past it, that you got the story. Very few people click or tap into the story to read more. And then on top of that, you're never quite sure what kind of viewpoint you're getting from the source you're clicking on. So the scroll through and read the headline, you really have to, if you can't go beyond that, you shouldn't go on social media because you have to be able to dig deeper and you have to be able to look at the different sources. And that's a key component. That's a key part of being a responsible social media user.
And then one more question before I let you go here, Keith. Given how divided the country has become, do you think an assassination like this could be the turning point to look inward at the problem? Or can this only kind of fan the flames of hatred even more?
Well, I've been watching things on social media, and I think it has a potential to go in a couple of different ways. People that I have seen who are upset at this, obviously upset at Charlie Kirk's assassination, have been measured. I think I haven't seen too many people trying to gin up any sort of retaliation in the form of violence, but I have seen individuals trying to celebrate this thing and say that this is just the beginning, and that's just awful, awful, sick stuff.
All right, Keith Corso, thank you once again for joining me. I appreciate it.